So we're going to start. You're going to hold on to your towel. I want you to take your towel and sort of long ways, just roll it up and hold it in either hand. Here we go. And you're going to stand with your feet slightly apart and your knees are going to be a little bit soft. And you're just going to relax your arms down by your sides. You're going to take your shoulders up to your ears and then you're going to roll them back. Lifting them up and then squeezing the shoulder blades back and together. Opening the chest as you squeeze them back. There we go. Lifting up and rolling back. And I'm going to have to kill my mother-in-law. Lifting the shoulders up. Let's just do one more. Roll them back. Squeeze them. Lengthen the shoulders down away from the ears and just relax there. You're going to take your arms out to just kind of shoulder width apart. So have the arms nice and straight. And you're just going to lift your arms up to just below shoulder height. And then I want you to keep your hips square forwards and just rotate to the side. So it doesn't really matter which side you go to. You're trying to keep your shoulders as wide as you can. So widen the collarbones. And all this does is it stops you from swinging the arms closer together. So you're trying to get as much movement from your thoracic area. You're going to feel the rotation kind of in the middle of the back. And again, just keep the shoulders away from the ears. So rotating to the left and the right, trying to keep your hips pointing straight forwards. There we go. That's it. And let's just do one or two more. So even yourself out. Just a nice rotation. And then coming back to the center. Keeping those knees nice and soft, grow tall through your spine. And I want you to take your arms up above your head and then come slowly back down. So you're just doing a nice range of movement with the shoulders. Don't force it to go too far. You're lifting up and back and then coming down. That's it. Lifting up again. There we go. Oh gosh, got a whole lot of things changing online there. And coming down, swooping into the shoulder blades, shoulders away from the ears. One more time. Lifting up. And come slowly back down. I want you to hold the towel in one hand and just hang it down behind your back. Then you're going to take the other hand and reach behind your back for the towel and then just walk your hands together along the towel. So you're trying to get them a little bit closer to one another on the towel. And ideally, in a very ideal world, you'll be able to get your fingertips to touch one another. Some super flexible people might be able to overlap fingers. If you're kind of getting close-ish, that's great. You should feel it in the arm that's going downwards. So not the elbow that's coming up. That one's kind of just hanging out there. You're going to feel it in the front of the shoulder on the side that's going down. You're holding it just for a short breath in and out or so. And then you can slowly slide that bottom hand down the towel. Slowly release it. Take it out. Change the towel over to the other side. So just release that one gently. So now you're holding it in your other hand. You reach around behind you, grab a hold of the towel, and then see how close you can walk those hands together. And just check in with that shoulder that's on the downside. So that's the side that you're going to feel stretching in the front there. Try and keep your spine neutral if you can. So you want to be kind of keeping yourself without arching your back. So you don't want to go into an extension into the back. Hold it there for a few seconds. Nice deep breaths in, breaths out, keeping your neck nice and relaxed, so not tensing up into the neck. And then you can slowly slide that bottom hand down the towel, release it gently, so don't kind of release it too quickly, and then maybe just roll over the shoulders a little bit. I want you to hold the towel now right on the end. Yeah, holding it on the ends of the towel. I'm going to turn sideways to you. It doesn't matter too much where you are, but you're going to stand. Let's stand both feet into the middle for now. Okay. So, and actually, do you know what I'm going to do? So I'm changing my mind here. You're going to pop the towel down on the mat next to your feet. Both feet are, there's like a monkey. Did you guys see the monkey along the wall? How cool is that? Okay. Capetonian problems. Okay, it's not a baboon. That's a good thing, right? So you're standing in the start of your roll down position. You've got your feet pointing straight forwards. You've got them hip distance apart. Your knees are a little bit soft. Let's tuck the chin in. Roll the head forwards, hang the arm heavy. Imagine that you are being pulled down by your arms out of your sockets. So they're heavy in the shoulders, relaxing your neck, and come down as low as it feels okay. Just hang there for a few seconds. Check in with your neck. Is it relaxed? Check in that the shoulders are nice and heavy, and you're folding yourself forwards as much as you can. Now, if you can, you might need to bend your knees a little bit just to find the ends of that towel. So now you're going to hold on to the ends of the towel and then come back into that bottom of your roll down position. So you've got right on the ends, you've got lots of length either side, and you're going to start restacking your spine. So pull the tummy nice and tight and slowly start building that spine back up, but you're going to be stopped at some point by the end of the towel. So the towel is going to stop you. Now pause there. Keep that rounded position in your spine. Pull that tummy nice and tight. Relax your neck. And I want you to just pull a little bit higher. So imagine that you're trying to lift your chest away from your hands just a little bit more. And you're going to feel a traction across the shoulder blades and a traction into the lower back. So it's a really nice upper and mid back stretch. And then just release that pressure. So you're not quite arching your back out the other way. You're just releasing the pressure. Pull the tummy tight. You won't see much movement, unfortunately, but you're rounding your spine, pulling against the ends of the towel, and you're getting an extra traction across the shoulder blades in particular, and then release that pressure. And now I want you to start going into a little reverse cat stretch. So start sticking the bum backwards, let the tummy come down, let your chest come forwards, widen your collarbones. You've still got a little bit of just gentle tension on the towel. You're looking up, lift your gaze, lift your chest, widen your collarbones, and then start tucking the tailbone under, lifting into your belly, rounding your spine. Look to your tummy and pull on that towel. Give yourself a nice traction stretch, and then uncurl the tailbone. Tummy stays engaged, but lowers down. Chest lifts forward, lift the gaze. And we're going to do one more little tuck. So just tuck the tailbone under, lift up into the tummy, rounding your spine. Pull on that towel. Give yourself a nice pull across the spine. Obviously only pulling as much as it feels good. And then you're going to just release that tension. Walk your hands down the towel to about halfway down the towel. So kind of if you were at the ends, your head sort of halfway down, you might be sort of shin height now and rounding your spine. So just a soft rounding. You're not pulling on the towel. I want you to start uncurling your tailbone. So start letting the bum go backwards, let the tummy come down, let the chest come forward, lift the gaze, open the collarbones. So we do this quite often with our hands on our shins. It's just a slightly different traction that you get as you tuck the tailbone, lift the belly, round the shoulders, look to your tummy, and now give that pull onto the towel. Be gentle in this one. Don't pull too hard because you're going to feel quite a pull into the lower back most likely. So if you're pushing with your legs a little bit, you're pulling with your arms a little bit, you might well now feel your lower back is getting quite a stretch. Don't force it, and then soften that. Oh gosh, monkeys and dogs, sorry. Soften that rounded position, bum goes backwards, lift your chest. Can you just go and look up our room maybe? Open your collarbones and hold it there. These monkeys are hazardous around here. You've got your extension going on there. And then tuck the tailbone under one more time, rounding your spine, look to your belly, pull on that towel and find that it's like a gentle traction you want to feel into your lower back. You don't want to feel like your discs are going to pop out backwards or something awful. You just want to feel a nice pull. And then you can just let go of that towel. So literally let it flop down to the sides of your feet. Roll yourself all the way up, restack those vertebrae, come all the way up. Standing up tall, shoulders come back, head comes up, and you stand up nice and tall. You're going to tuck the tailbone, and not the tailbone, you're going to tuck your chin in, and you're going to roll all the way down, going into a full roll down without the towel, obviously. Your knees are soft, your arms are heavy, your neck is relaxed. And head down as far as it feels okay, and just notice whether you maybe feel like things just move so much easier in your back. I know I feel quite a significant difference when I do that roll down after doing those traction. It's like a static traction that's quite lekker. All right, and then you're going to bend your knees down, place your hands flat on the mat, walk them out 3 nice big steps, and come down into your all fours. So you're not hovering or doing anything fancy. You can take the towel out from underneath you and just place it to the one side for a few minutes. Find your 4-point position. You're going to stack your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Pull that tummy nice and tight. So you're going to find that neutral spine. You want a little curvature in the lower back. You want to be pushing up across the shoulder blade. So engaging that armpit connection. So check that you've got that little orange squeal on your armpit. Squeeze That's what I did when the monkey ran past. And then a neutral head position. So check that you're looking sort of 2 feet in front of your hand. You're going to slide your left foot back and check that your hips don't shift over to that right. So make sure you keep your weight over to the left. Take your right hand forwards and just hover the arm and the leg up. So we've got a good old classic. Just holding it there. Check that your hips are level, your shoulders are level. Looking good. Neck stays neutral, so you're not sagging into the lower back. Pulling the tummy nice and tight. Shoulders away from the ears. Close the eyes. Just check in with the balance. See how that feels. Have you shifted your weight over to the right maybe? So maybe you want to just shift those hips slightly over to the left. No one will see it, but it's a little shift. And then open the eyes and place the hand and the knee back down where they started. You're going to slide that right foot back. Careful as you even lift your weight off that right knee that you don't shift over onto the left. So center your weight, engage the tummy, slide the right leg back, slide the left hand forward, float them up. Hips are level, shoulders level. Has your weight maybe shifted to the left already? So maybe just shift those hips a little to the right. And then close those eyes. Check in with the balance. Tummy is tight. You're still squeezing into the armpits. Hold it there. Breathe. You're allowed to breathe. And then open those eyes and place the knee and the hand back down. Just restabilize things, so adjust what you need to. You might want some padding under the knees or wrist support, so do what you need to do to be comfortable. We're going to take that left leg back, right hand forwards. Float the arm and the leg up. Your neck stays long, your spine stays neutral. Then you're going to engage those tummy muscles, start lifting up into the spine, and you're going to pull the knee and the elbow towards one another, rounding your spine, and then stretching it out nice and long. We're just going to do 4 of these. So pulling that elbow in towards your knee, rounding as tightly as you can. Try and find that deep connection into your lower abdominals. I'm on 3. And then we're going to do just one more nice long length between your fingertips and your toes. Your neck is still long. Don't let that left shoulder come up to your ear. Lengthening it out and then place it gently back down into its original position. You're going to take that right leg back. Oh, the breeze here is lovely. The humidity has been unreal. Take that left hand forwards, float them up. Check in with your tummy. Is it working nice and hard? Is your neck nice and long? And then you're going to lift up into the belly, round the spine, tuck in that knee and that elbow, and then stretch them out nice and long, staying level in the pelvis as you stretch out long, and then rolling them back in, so rounding the spine. Get a deep connection into those lower abdominals. And breathing. Use your breath to assist you, kind of however it works for you. Straightening out. I've got 1 more to go. Whatever number you're on, aim for 4. Rounding in, stretching out. Nice and long between the fingertips and the toes. Neck is relaxed, and place the hand and the knee slowly back down. Just sit back for a few seconds so you take the pressure off your wrists. And you can kind of find a comfortable, stretchy place. Hold it there for just a few seconds. Yeah, just wriggle those hands around and kind of whatever feels okay in the wrists and relieves that pressure. We're not going to be on our all fours for too much longer, but I want you to pull yourself back up onto all fours. So your knees are stacked, your wrists are stacked under your hips and under your shoulders. Pull that tummy nice and tight and find your neutral spine. So be careful that you're not sagging into the lower back or rounding. You've got a good squeeze into the armpits. Your neck is long, shoulders away from your ears. What I want you to try and do is imagine, so I'm just having a look at some elbows here. Actually, Carrie doesn't need to do this. I think it's really just Craig, maybe Craig and mom and dad. But I want you to feel like you are widening your collarbones while you're squeezing into your armpits. So you're tucking your elbows so that if you were to bend your elbows, they would shoot back towards your knees. So you could even do a little elbow bend and see which direction are my elbows going to go. If I bent them, are they going to go out to the sides or are they going to go back towards my knees? So try and just close. It's like closing into your armpit is the position you want in your shoulder. So just that's how you kind of check it, is by that little bend, which is completely irrelevant to the next exercise. But it's quite important that you have that external rotation on the shoulder, which creates a good strong shoulder girdle. So it's not entirely irrelevant. Right, slide that. Actually, no, don't slide anything. You're going to take your right arm straight out to the side, so to a T-junction. And then without shifting your weight to the right, lift that left knee and just try and slide it out to the left just a little bit. So it's your fire hydrant. There we go. Hold it there. Shift the weight to the left, another notch or two. Feel that cross pattern connection across from your left rib cage to your right hip. And then slowly slide them back in. Tummy nice and tight. Recenter yourself. Take that left arm straight out to the side. And right knee comes out to the side. So shift that weight over to the right, 1 or 2 notches. Breathe. Connection into the armpit. Neck is nice and long. Again, I say breathe. It's easy to hold your breath with these ones. And place that hand and that knee slowly back down. We're going to do one more on each side. Try and challenge yourself again. So get that nice external rotation to the shoulders. That's it, nice. And you're going to slide your right arm out to the side, left knee out to the side. Keep your hips level. So be careful that you're not lifting that left hip. Shift your weight over to that left. Squeeze into the armpit. Oh, you feel the shoulder girdle working hard. Hold for another breath. And slowly place them back down onto the mat. You're going to take your left arm out to the side. Squeeze into the armpit. Externally rotate your upper arm bone. And take your right knee out to the side. Shift your weight over to the right a little. Just a squeak or two. Breathe. Neck is long. Squeezing into that right armpit. Hips are level. And bring that hand and that knee back down. Sit back onto your heels for a well-deserved little break. Stretching out nice and long with the arms. Nice deep breaths into the lungs. So stretching out the back of your rib cage as you stay in that rest position. Try and find a restful place for your head. So if you need pillows or cushions or your handy towel nearby, then feel free to use that. Then I want you to walk your hands back towards your knees. Sit back for just a second or two while you fold your towel up. So I want you to fold it in half and in half and in half a few times. Doesn't matter too much how it gets to the point where you have it about a foot long sausage roll. Okay, so go and, yeah, that's fine. So you just kind of fold it up a few times and then you have it, what would be basically from your pelvis to your sternum length. Yeah, okay, put it down horizontally on the mat and you're going to lie down onto your left side with your left waist on the roll. So I hope that makes sense. You're going to have your left waistline on the roll. So it gives you a really nice bit of padding. Okay, everyone all right? Yeah, so you want it kind of tucked into the curve of your waistline, not on your ribs, just below your rib cage. Try and find that comfortable place for your head. So it'll feel a little bit weird, but actually it puts you almost sneakily and perfectly into that straight line that we normally get your obliques to work into. So kind of a little bit of a cheat, but it's nice, you know what? And sometimes we have to have a nice day. So because we are, thumbs up, totally agree. Okay, so you're going to lift up both of those legs because we can be nice, but then we still have to work a little, you know. Relax your neck. So because you've got that bolster under your waistline, you've got to still be connecting into the waist to counter your neck balancing off your legs. So your neck is going to want to now tense up and lift up. Relax your neck as much as you can, and you'll feel that your waistline actually has to work quite hard to stabilize you in that position if you can keep your neck uninvolved. There we go. Let's lift that top hand up. Doesn't matter where it goes. It can go into your waist, but you'll feel it's like really nice and stable. And part of this is showing you how much work that underside oblique muscle has to do when we don't have a towel around. You're holding it there just for a few more seconds. You're keeping your lower tummy engaged. So because we've got that bolster to help us, focus on using your lower tummy muscles to hold you nice and still. You're relaxing that neck, the shoulders away from your ear. And hold it there just for a few more seconds. And because we're here, let's lift that top leg up and down. Don't lose height on that bottom leg. So now also it's quite, because we often cheat and that bolster's there now, it's forcing you to keep your hips at the right height. It means you can't cheat by using your waistline. You have to use your hip muscle. I think I'm on 6. Let's do 2 more. Relax your neck. I felt my neck tensing. Last one, up, slowly down, and lower those legs all the way down. Nicely done. You should feel quite a lot more work happening actually with that towel under there. We might have to bring a towel to every class now. All right, taking your top leg up. So keep your legs out long. You're going to take your top leg just above hip height. Most amazing eagles going around here. They have incredible birds of prey in this place. We're going to start doing little circles. So your soccer ball circles, nice and controlled. So if you've got your hand down, then that's great. It means that you've got lots of stability. So we've got no excuse to not keep our bodies almost dead still as we do those little circles. And then we're going to change direction once you've done like 5 or 6 little circles. Don't forget to breathe. Is your neck relaxed? Nice. Looking very good. And once you've done 5 or 6, you're going to pause just briefly, check in with that like a bit of heat going on there. And then you can just bend that knee all the way forwards to about like even higher than 90 degrees. Just lift it up in front of you. Keep the other bottom leg out long. And you might want to give a little bit of a rub to the glutes there. It's like birds of prey are circling. Maybe they think we're like slugs lying on the ground here. It's quite weird. It's like there's 3 yellow-billed kites. I think that's what they are. Okay, taking that leg out nice and long, and since it's kind of tricky since you guys are not here, so it's kind of arbitrary conversation, lift those legs up. So we're going to go back into your oblique connection. Here we go. You got both of your legs up. You've got your neck nice and relaxed. Take that arm up to the sky. Check in with your lower abdominals. So you want your lower abdominals to be working. Your neck is relaxed, which means you've got to be working into those obliques so that your neck is not able to counteract what's going on with the weight of your legs. Squeeze those legs together. And now you're going to let that bottom leg go down towards the mat and then squeeze it back up. So you don't have a huge height on that top leg. It's a small little squeeze up and down. Number 4. Let's do 2 more. And up. 5. Breathe. Relax that shoulder. 6. And lower those knees all the way down. Nice. I want you to just whip that towel out from under your waist. Don't unravel it. You're going to stretch. So now you just don't have it under your waistline. You're going to stretch that right arm forwards. Lift it all the way up and around and back and over and behind you. Just feel a nice big stretch going into your thoracic, maybe into your lumbar. Deep breaths into your rib cage. You want to feel like you're expanding into your rib cage as you lie in that rotation. And as you feel it soften, you might want to bring your knees up a little bit higher, or you might want to take your left hand and just place it on the outside of your right knee so you get a little bit more traction down into that stretch. Nice deep breath. I'm going to take that arm all the way up and over and stretch it forwards just one more time. Counteract that rotation by pushing that right shoulder down towards the mat. Hold it there just for a few seconds. And then you can bring that arm all the way back in front of you. And you can roll yourself over or you can swing your legs around. So it doesn't matter too much what you do. But don't forget that little towel. You're going to pop it back under the waistline. So you want it to be under your waist, just below that rib. So not low down, literally just tucks in so nicely and perfectly there. Find a happy place for your neck. Legs are out long. Here we go. All right. You can have your hand in front of your tummy for now, and then you're going to just float those legs up off the mat. So remember, you've got that oblique connection that's not actually doing any work. So you've got to work a lot more in those sidelines and in the hips to hold yourself there. Check in with your neck. So it's going to be really easy for your neck now to try and counterbalance the weight of your legs. Lift that arm up to the ceiling or to the sky. Top arm goes up. Squeeze those legs together. Nice deep breath. And you're going to feel already like those little side muscles are working. Try and get some air time under that bottom knee. And we're going to lift that top leg up. And slowly down. Lifting up. Relax your neck. Check in with that neck. Good. Good. 2 more. That looks great. So I'm just checking everyone. That's why I'm saying good so many times. I'm like ticking boxes here. Good, 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 good. Almost done. And lower them slowly all the way back down. You can place that hand down in front of your tummy. Lift that top leg up. So I had a little bit of a blank there. I'm like, oh, couldn't remember what we were doing here. Lifting it up just above hip height. And you're going to start your little hip circles. So you can keep that hand in front of your tummy so that you're nice and stable. Going slowly as you can. So you want to keep your body nice and still. And once you've done 5 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever, change direction. And you're trying to keep your body nice and still. You're connecting into your abdominal muscles, so your tummy muscles are working. Your neck is relaxed. Relax the neck every 10 seconds or so, and then pause briefly with that leg up, and then lowering it slowly back down. Nicely done. We're going to go back up into our side lift, so lifting both of those legs up. We'll go, holding it there. We could maybe take that arm up to the sky if you feel like it, otherwise not. It's entirely up to you. I don't know if we did it on the other side or not, I can't remember. And then lowering that bottom leg down towards the mat and squeezing it back up. So try and get a nice big connection into your adductors, so your inner thighs are working nice and hard. Your lower tummy's pulled tight, so try and keep that lower tummy pulled in nice and flat. That's good. We've got 2 to go. 5, squeezing it up. You're going to feel so much work happening down this top side. Last one, 6. Pause, lower them slowly back down. And you can just bring that knee up in front of you. Give the bum a little bit of a rub if you need to. I think we did. I've lost track of like what sequence we did on the other side. So my apologies if it's all a bit fandangled. But then you're actually going to bring both of your knees back up. Stretch that left arm out in front of you. There we go. And lifting it all the way up and over. Oh, sorry, take the towel out quickly. My apologies. For the rotation, you want to take your towel out and rotate yourself all the way back to that left side. Oh, feel a nice stretch there. And as you take those deep breaths, you can either move your knees up a little bit higher, or you can hold on to your left knee with your right hand. So just give a little bit more of a pull onto that knee downwards towards the mat, so you get a bit more traction across the hip mostly. You might feel it going into the lower back a little bit. Kind of wherever it's tight is where you'll feel it. Deep breath. Expanding into the rib cage. And then you can bring that arm slowly up overhead, stretching forwards in front of you. So just try and roll that left shoulder down towards the mat a little bit. Let it counter rotate. And then you can bring that hand slowly back to in front of you. Keep your towel nearby. I want you to roll yourself over onto your back. Take your towel in your hands, still rolled up, and then just fold it in half. So you're going to have it in like, imagine it's like a little ball. So you're going to have it like folded into a little, what are those things? A croissant. Yeah, kind of. Put there a little croissant, whatever's the widest point between your knees. Okay, so you're holding the towel between your knees, which means that your knees are hopefully almost hip distance apart in that position. Your feet are the same width as your knees. So if your knees are quite close together, then just make your feet at the same point so that your legs are parallel to one another. Hands down by your sides. And we're going to just squeeze that towel. So I want you to engage those inner thigh muscles. Stabilize your pelvis. You're not tucking your tailbone or doing any kind of pelvic tilt. Squeeze that towel and then relax. Don't let the towel fall though. So you've got to keep a little connection there. Squeeze the towel. Big squeeze, biggest squeeze you can possibly imagine, and slowly release. Don't tuck the tailbone. Keep your pelvis neutral. Keep your lower back neutral. You may well, with this particular one, if you squeeze hard enough, you might actually feel like a click or a clunk that goes into like the back of your pelvis. That's totally okay. Don't worry about it. It's your SIJ, so it's a little joint in the back of your pelvis. Keep squeezing that towel. I'm just talking for fun. It's a little very rigid joint at the back of your pelvis that sometimes gets out of sync and gets out of alignment. We've got 2 more squeezes or so. So we're aiming for around about 8 to 10. Not too serious. Oh my gosh. I'm hoping I don't have to make a quick run for it upstairs. It's starting to spit with rain. Still quite pleasant. And then last one, you could just relax there. So now you're going to keep a little connection on the towel. So don't let it go. Keep your hands down by your sides. You're going to squeeze your bum, squeeze the towel now about 50%. So it's not your maximum squeeze. You give it a little bit of a squeeze, squeeze the bum, roll those hips up. So you're going into a nice, good old classic pelvic curl, but you've got to squeeze on the towel at the same time. So you're going to get extra glute action, extra hamstrings, and extra on the inner thighs. Roll slowly all the way down. And don't lose the squeeze on the towel until you've fully reached your point of rest. Then you can relax a little bit, but don't let the towel drop. So the whole time, those inner thighs are actually working a little bit. You could have a feel, and you can actually feel that they're slightly connected the whole time. Squeeze the towel 50%, squeeze the bum 100%, roll the hips up off the mat. Now go a little bit higher. So give that towel a good squeeze. Give the bum a bit of an extra squeeze. So just push past that little comfort zone. So you're not staying within your little kind of happy, safe place. And then roll slowly all the way down, pushing your low back onto the mat, and then just releasing into the releasing the squeeze on the towel. We're going to just do 2 more. So squeezing that towel, squeezing the bum, rolling those hips up. Squeeze that bum a little bit extra now. Squeeze the towel a little bit more. Relax your neck and your shoulders if you can. And then rolling slowly back down. Don't lose the squeeze on the towel as you come down. Push the low back into the mat and then release the pelvis and release the squeeze. One more time. Squeeze that towel, squeeze the bum, roll those hips up, lifting all the way up as high as you can, and then go a little bit more. Push those hips up. There we go. Don't let them get lazy. And then once you've held it there for a breath cycle or 2, you're going to slowly start coming back down, all the way down, pushing your back onto the mat, and then release that squeeze into the mat. You're going to take the towel out from out from between your knees. I want you to unroll it so it's now in like a small square. You're going to have it in like, so it's, I think in half, like 3 or 4 times. Okay, so small square. Fold your square in half so that you have it in a rectangle. So it's going to be almost back to where it was, but now you've got it like a flat rectangle, and you're going to slide that under your bum. So literally under your lower pelvis is where you want to have the towel now. Okay, does that make sense? So you've got it kind of right at your coccyx. That's quite low down. It'll mean that it feels like your pelvis is lifted and you've got a little bit more space in your lower back. Hands down by your sides. Bring one leg up to tabletop. Bring the other leg up to tabletop. Some of you may guess what's coming next. Floppy shins. Tummy nice and tight. Keep your spine stable. So you're not going to tuck your tailbone under. You're going to keep your spine neutral and start tapping one foot down at a time. So you're doing your little marching action. You've got a nice stability in your abdominal muscles. Your shoulders and your neck are relaxed. The only thing working here is your abdominals. Your hips are elastic. They're just along for the ride. Don't worry about those hip flexors. They're going to start working a little bit. The main thing is that your spine is staying stable and your abdominal muscles are working. You should be able to, if I asked you to, is take your arms up to the ceiling or up to the sky. So you're not pushing on your arms. Your neck is relaxed. Lower tummy is still working. If you feel this in your lower back, you could tuck your tailbone. So then I would ask you to flatten your lower back onto the mat. So tuck the tailbone under. But if you can, you want to try and engage those lower abdominals and have them strong enough that they can stabilize your spine while your legs do stuff in the background, you know. And now let's start brushing those little ping pong balls back towards our bums. The tummy's nice and tight. You're doing nice big circles with those lower legs. Your back is still in a neutral position as far as possible. And if you are feeling this one in your back and you didn't in the previous one, go back to the toe taps. Otherwise, tuck the tailbone under and flatten the lower back towards the mat. That's totally okay. Keep going. You're going to feel a bit of heat in those hip flexors. Hopefully the lower tummy is working nice and hard. Let's change direction. We're nearly done. We've got about 30 seconds to go. You're doing a reverse, brushing that ball away from your bum now. Little ping pong balls. So you've got to touch onto the mat as you do nice big circles with those legs. Your tummy's working nice and hard now. Breathe. Lovely. Nearly done. Bigger circles. Great. You, Klimna. Oh my gosh. 3, 2, 1, and bring those knees up to your chest, hug them up nice and tightly. And because you've got the towel under your bum, it's going to feel quite nice. It kind of releases into your lower back a little bit. Lovely, lovely stretch with a towel under your bum. Place those feet back down onto the mat. Squeeze the bum, roll the hips up into your pelvic curl. So just as high as you can, kind of almost a shoulder bridge kind of feeling, where you get a nice stretch to the front of those hips. So get a good squeeze on the glutes. And then roll slowly back down. Don't spend too long up there, but that's more about releasing those hip flexors than it is about doing anything too fancy. Keep the hands down by your sides. Whew, it's a bit of a warm up there. Bring those legs back up to tabletop. In fact, bring your knees up to your chest. So flatten your back. No, don't hold them there. Hands down by your sides. Flatten your lower back onto the mat. Pull that tummy tight. So now the idea is that you stabilize your spine pushed into the mat. You're going to straighten one leg out nice and long. So going out as low towards the ground as you can. Straightening out the other leg. Alternating sides. So now you are working a bit of those hip flexors in a different way. You're doing more of an eccentric lengthening, but your abdominals are still doing all the work and your back is in a very safe position. If you feel this in your back, change the angle of your legs. So lift the leg up a little bit higher. So don't straighten it out too low along the floor. And you can just do a nice smooth mid-air changeover if you want to challenge yourself a little bit. Let's take those arms up to the ceiling. So check that you're not actually using your arms to press down and counterbalance and not using those tummy muscles. Lots of tummy work. Nice and slow and controlled, and you're breathing and your neck is relaxed. And we've got about 3 to go or so. Doesn't matter too much on this one which side you started on or which side you end on, but hug those knees up to your chest. And take a nice deep breath in. That's lovely. Okay, just wriggle those ankles and those feet around a little bit. There we go. All right, so you can put your feet back down onto the mat. I want you to just lift your bum a tiny bit, squeeze your bum to lift, and slide that towel a little bit higher up. So I want you to go under your lower back. That might actually be a little bit too thick. Let's see how it feels, but take your legs out nice and long, so straight, and your arms are going to go up to the ceiling. We're going to do some roll-ups, but I want you to kind of see how it feels. You might want to, either you can take the towel out completely, or you can flatten it out a little bit, but I want you to maybe have it there as a little bit of an assist so that you can get a deeper abdominal connection and be more specific in how you articulate your spine. So arms up to the ceiling. You're going to take your arms back behind you, so to above your head, kind of. And then you're going to bring your arms up. As you lift your arms up, as you set them up onto your sides, you're going to breathe out and start rolling yourself all the way up to a sitting up tall position. We're not going to fold forwards this time. And then just adjust that towel. So you want it to be, as you're sitting there, you want the bottom of the towel point to be against your bum. Okay. Sitting up nice and tall. Legs are out long if you can. If they start off a little bit bent because of tight hamstrings, that's okay. You can always straighten them out as you go back. You're going to scoop into the belly, tuck the tailbone under, and start rolling down one vertebra at a time. Be very specific now as you roll down each vertebra. Because you've got that towel assisting you, you can connect maybe a little bit more deeply into your abdominals. Take your hands behind your head, breathe in. As you set up your hands on your sides, you breathe out. Sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to talk a little bit less on the next one and try and just focus on how much you move each little vertebra. If it doesn't feel great with the towel, you can take the towel out, but I want you to try and be as controlled as you can in each specific little movement that you get the spine to do as you roll yourself back up. As you sit up nice and tall, to go tall through your spine, and then focus on that scoop into the abdominals. Roll yourself back and down, arms go behind your head, and then you're lifting the arms up to the ceiling. Breathing out, rolling up, sitting up tall onto your sit bones. Beautiful. And tucking back in. You've got one more to go. All the way down. And you'll feel, if you're pretty good at roll-ups, you'll feel like with it under your back, it's really easy. But that's why I want you to be so aware of how much you can articulate through the spine. We're going to roll down and end up lying on our backs, nice and flat. Hands behind your head and just do a nice, sleepy starfish. Arms are out above your head, nice and long. Legs are nice and long. All right, enough of that. Bend those knees, place your feet back onto the mat, bring your arms over your head and slide that towel out from under your back. You're going to hold the towel long ways now. You can unroll it, have it out nice and flat, not nice and flat, have it out like sausage roll kind of thing, nice and long. And hands are going to be shoulder width or just outside shoulder width apart. So you'll have about a foot of towel dangling either side, maybe a bit longer depending on your towel. Right, pull that tummy nice and tight. Lift your leg up to tabletop and the other leg up to tabletop. Glue those knees and those ankles together. I want you to roll your knees. You're going to roll your pelvis over to the left side, but keep your hands still. Keep your knees level. Keep your shoulders heavy. And then bring those knees back to the center and rolling them over to the right. Let your hips roll. Keep your knees level. So check that you might need to push with that outside knee over the other knee, if that makes sense. So if you're rolling to the left, push with your right knee first, and that's what pushes your knees over to the side. And then let them slide back to the center. Push with your left knee to slide over to the right. Shoulders stay heavy and slide them back to the center. Let's go again. Don't forget to breathe. And you can figure out what breath works for you. Careful, you don't go past the point of no return. And rolling over to the side. Is your neck relaxed or is your neck holding on for dear life? Come back. I feel like I'm wriggling like a caterpillar down the grass here. Slight slope. And let's just do one more to each side. Focus on keeping those knees level. Shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed. Last one, balance yourself out, whatever that means. So whether that's your last one or you need to do one more, bring them back to the center. Put the towel onto your shins and just hug your knees up to your chest. One more time. Hold it there for a few seconds, just releasing the lower back a little bit. Go. And I'm going to ask you to very unelegantly, or however you want to, just sit yourself up. And we're going to go back into that rolled up towel position. So fold it in half, half again, and then roll it up. So you've got a nice long line. I don't know if it's getting too dark. You guys can still see what we're doing. Okay, so now you've got a nice thick rolled up towel. I want you to hold it over behind your head if you can. So I'm not sure if your shoulders will be able to do this. Just see how it goes. But you basically want it along your spine from the base of your neck. You want it fatter than that, Craig. So you want it quite a short, fat, little dumpy kind of towel rolled up. And you want it to be down to your lower back. So it's from the top of your neck, from the bottom of the base of your neck, down to kind of just at the top of your lower back. And then lie yourself down onto that. So however you find a way of doing that, you want the towel along your spine. Wriggle yourself so that you can kind of find a comfortable place for your head to kind of rest backwards. You will have your chin now tilting up to the sky. Bend your knees, or you can have your legs out straight. Bring your arms up to the sky, so up to the ceiling. And we're going to just take your arms out to the side, slowly, and controlled, and rest your arms down onto the mat next to you. So side by side. So you've got T-junction arms. And just rest there for a few seconds. So this will feel very easy for some people. So they'll feel almost no release in this position. And then for some people, this will feel like an enormous stretch. So what we're doing is those little ribs attach onto your spine with a little bit of cartilage in between. And that is just being released in the opposite direction to how we live. So we live very forward based, and this is just opening up the chest and opening up the rib cage backwards. So it's going to create a flare in the ribs in the front. And if you've got very tight intercostal and attachments of those ribs to the thoracic spine, then you're going to feel quite a lot of tension in that area. You can hold it there for a few seconds, and then I want you to start doing little snow angels with your arms. So bring your arms down towards your hips, and then bring them all the way up. As far as it feels comfortable, let your shoulder blades swoop out to the sides, and then sliding them back down again. Just see what feels okay in the shoulders. So don't force the range to go any more than what is relatively comfortable. And you'll probably feel that it kind of releases a little bit more into the rib cage. Try and focus on very deep breath work. So you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And as you breathe in and out, particularly in, focus that breath into the back of your lungs. So you're trying to push your ribs back down and around that towel. Let's just do one more arm angel, snow angel thingamajobby. Arms can go out to the sides. And then you can just slowly lift those arms back up, taking your thumbs down behind your head. So you're going to keep your arms straight and see if you can lower your arms down behind your head and then bring them slowly back up. And you might find there's a point in your spine that feels like it's kind of getting caught. Arms up to the ceiling, and then you slowly lower them down behind your head. I'm definitely feeling this between my shoulder blades. And then coming back up to the center. We're just going to do one more. Going as far back as we can. Just do what feels okay for the shoulders. Bring your arms back up to the ceiling, to the center, and then put the one elbow down. Just roll yourself sideways off the towel and sitting yourself back up. Now check where that towel is. So it's rolled up. You're going to just turn it 90 degrees. So I want you to turn it so that it's horizontal. And if you're not very tight in your spine, then you might want to just make it kind of as beefed up as you can. So make it quite nice and fat. And then you're going to lie yourself back down. And I want you to go where your bra strap is. So kind of just below your shoulder blades. If you can lie yourself back down onto that. So it's literally sitting on the tips of your shoulder blades. Take your hands and place them behind your head. So interlace your fingers, place them behind your head. Your knees are bent, so your feet are on the mat. And you're going to just gently let your spine rest backwards so that your head can come down onto the mat behind you. Your elbows can just rest out to the sides. And if you've got the right spot, you might need to move yourself up or down, but you're going to feel a really nice, or maybe it's not nice, it might be quite uncomfortable, but it should be a good release, like a reverse release. And it's also just countering the way we live. So we always live very hunched up. So try and soften into that position. See if you can melt into that towel. Taking nice deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And then bring those elbows up to around your face so that your elbows are just closed to your face. And just relax there for a few more seconds. You'll feel it's just a different kind of release that you might feel. Holding it there just for a few more seconds. Nice deep breaths in and out. You can always move your position. So you might feel like actually would feel a little bit better if it was higher or a little bit better if it was lower. So do kind of whatever feels okay. And now I want you to do little butterfly wings with those elbows. So elbows out to the sides, and then bring the elbows back up to your face. And elbows out to the sides. Elbows up to the face. The spine will feel nice after this, I promise. And bringing them up and down at your own sort of speed, but nice and controlled. Let's just do one or two more. Go. And then you can close those elbows around your face. Tuck your tummy in, so start flattening your back onto the mat, your lower back onto the mat, and curl yourself up into a little chest lift. So now you're lifting your shoulders away from the mat, from the towel, if you can, and then slowly lower them back down and just do one more little extension. Soften those elbows out to the side, and maybe notice if it feels a little bit easier than it originally did. Close those elbows around the face. Tuck the tailbone under, flatten the lower back onto the mat, and roll yourself up. So you're using your spine to lift yourself up out of that, and then you can roll yourself onto your side so that you can get off that position. You want to be quite gentle how you get out of that thoracic release. So if that felt very easy for you, then a more bunched up towel would be better, but it might feel quite intense to most of us that we live in that very closed over position. All right. Still with a rolled up towel, I want you to lie down onto your tummy, and the towel is going to be at the bottom of your sternum. All right, so you're going to have it kind of not top of the ribs, bottom of the ribs, bottom of the sternum. crossways, okay? So horizontal, yeah. Arms are going to be out to the sides, bent to 90 degrees. So we're in our baby cobra position. Relax your forehead down to the mat. Legs are out nice and long. So this should feel okay. It shouldn't be a massive amount of pressure like the ball does. Put kind of a whole bunch of heart and lung pressure on. I want you to breathe in. You're going to start lifting your chest just a little bit. Lift your head just a little bit. Squeeze the bum, push the bum into the mat, and lift kind of as high as it feels comfortable. But you've got to feel like you're pushing the bottom of that sternum into your rolled up towel. So I don't want you to use your lower back for this one. Keep the bum squeezed and lift up so that your sternum is pushing into that towel. So that's what you want to feel, that melting point across the bottom of the shoulder blades. Hold it there just another second or two, and then roll slowly back down. Remember to breathe when you're holding those positions. Make any adjustments that you need to. Squeeze the bum again, anchor the pelvis, and start lifting up on your in-breath. It gives you a good chance to kind of inflate your lungs, and it gets the movement going in the right direction. Push the bottom of that sternum into the mat. Hold it there. Shoulders come away from your ears, and then float those arms up off the mat, holding that little extension position. Try and focus on squeezing the bum, anchoring the pelvis. You're working across the bottom of those shoulder blades, your shoulders away from your ears. Get a little squeeze into those armpits maybe, so you'll feel like you can connect into your lat muscles, so those nice big kite muscles. And relax everything slowly back down onto the mat and relax. You can kind of feel like you maybe get a bit more of a release because you've got that rolled up towel under your rib cage. And you're going to breathe in again, squeeze the bum, anchor the pelvis, roll up, lift your chest, lift your gaze. You'll feel you get quite a nice range of movement with this one. It gives you a bit of a sense of achievement because you get quite high with that bolster there. Check that your sternum is pushing into the mat. Your bum is still squeezed. You lift those arms up. The shoulders are away from your ears. You're squeezing into those armpits. You're squeezing the bum. Don't lose that bum connection, because if the bum's not squeezing, that lower back is going to be working hard. Tuck the bum in. Hold it there. Breathe. And come slowly back down. All the way down. We're going to add on to that one. We've just got 2 more to go. So if that feels okay and you can just maintain that, then that's fine. Stay there. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, then let's try a little bit of an add-on. So squeeze the bum, anchor the pelvis. Lift that chest a little bit by melting into that shoulder blade area. You're lifting your chest, lifting your gaze, you're lifting your arms. Set the shoulder blades. So that means squeeze into the armpits, take the shoulders away from your ears. Now I want you to lift your arms into a low V. So straightening those arms out into a low V. Squeeze the bum, don't let the lower back work, and bring those elbows back down, closer to your sides. And straighten the arms out in front of you. Keep the neck long, keep the bum squeezed. Don't let the lower back work if you can possibly help it. Otherwise, go back to stage 1. And straightening out. This is our last one. Don't forget to breathe. Bring those elbows back and lower those arms slowly down and relax everything over that towel. Maybe wiggle the hips side to side a little bit. Just releases the lower back. Remember, I said 2, so you've got 1 to go. We can do that one with the extension pack, or we can do it just in the standard, just holding that baby cobra. So do what feels good for you. Squeeze the bum though, so always anchoring the pelvis. Rolling up away from the towel there. Push that lower sternum into the towel. Lift the head and the gaze a little bit if you can, and then float those arms up. Hold it there just for a breath. Checking that the bum is working. You've got that little armpit squeeze, and you're going to straighten those arms out into your low V. So they don't have to go right up to your ears, but as you bring them back, draw those shoulders away from your ears, and then arms go forwards. Breathe. Elbows come back, shoulders relaxed. Come forwards again 1 more time. Arms go out straight. Bring them back, shoulders away from the ears, and lower everything slowly back down. You're going to tuck the elbows in, the hands under, elbows pop up. Push yourself all the way up, back into your rest position. As you go into your rest position, round your spine and put the bum slowly and gently down onto your heels so that you get a nice release into those lumbar vertebrae. You'll feel quite a lot of tension builds up there when we do those arms extending out. It's pretty hard, and it's a lot of hard work on the body. So you're using a lot of your extensor muscles, and it will always work down into your lower back. That's why we have to release it, but we try and offload the lower back because it always overworks. Holding it there just for a few more seconds, taking a nice deep breath. Feel yourself expanding into the back of the rib cage, holding it in that rest position. Nice deep breath in, stretching between those intercostal muscles. And then you're going to keep your hands where they are, actually. Slowly pull yourself all the way up onto all fours. Tuck your toes in. You can leave your towel where it is. It doesn't matter too much where your towel is. But lift those knees and push your bum up into the sky, lengthening into the arms and lengthening into your spine. You want to find that long line from your hands to the right at the bottom of your spine. Try and get as straight as you can into your spine. Bend the knees as much as you need to so that you can get more length into your spine. So bend your knees more so that you straighten up, bum towards the sky. Then pedaling down one heel at a time, stretching into your Achilles tendon, shifting your weight over side to side just a little bit. Get a nice release there. Don't forget to breathe. When you've done a couple of those, then you can center your weight over your heels, push both heels down, and then pushing up and your bum up towards the sky. Try and straighten your knees as much as you can. Keep that length into your spine, and then you can shift your weight forwards a little bit, move your feet forwards, move your hands backwards, and let's try and find the bottom of our roll down position. So just hanging there for a few seconds. Soften the knees. Engage the lower abdominal muscles just because they should be staying fairly engaged. See how low you can fold yourself down and just hold that stretchy position. You can bend your knees a little bit more and fold your chest down towards your knees a little bit more. So really try and fold yourself in half and then keep your chest down towards your knees. See if you can straighten those knees just a little bit more and create a lot of tension into the back of those hamstrings, into the belly of the muscle. Relax your neck and your shoulders, bend the knees, soften that stretch, keep your chest down, maybe fold down a little bit more, and then straighten those knees a little bit if you can. You're just creating tension, so they're not going straight, you're just straightening them. So you're trying to push the bum towards the sky, bend the knees, release that stretch. Just one more time, fold yourself more onto your knees. Straighten the knees as much as you can. Breathe, relax the neck and the shoulders. And then soften that stretch a little bit. Find the bottom of your roll down. So that might mean that your knees are a little bit more straight, so they're just off locked. Engage those lower tummy muscles and let's slowly start rebuilding our spines. Putting one vertebra at a time on top of the other one. Slowly rolling back up. Shoulders come up. Head comes up, standing up tall through your spine. Take your arms out to the sides. Deep breath in. Connect the fingertips at the top. Fill the lungs. And breathing out. Breathing in. Arms up to the top. Connect the fingertips to one another. And breathing out. And there, my friends, you have it. I hope you feel nice after that. That should feel pretty good in the spine, particularly in the thoracic release stuff, should feel nice.